Training this week will include the Excel basics that you will need in order to analyze your data. So to begin, we want to change the number formats in column B from currency to number. To do this, you simply highlight the selection, right-click, Format Cells. Instead of currency, you want simple numbering. Reduce the decimal places to 0. That's because when you are coding data, you do not need decimal places. Next, we're going to freeze the panes. The purpose of freezing the panes is if you have long strings of data and you scroll down and you are unable to see the column headings. So to do this, do not highlight anything. Simply go to View, Freeze Panes, and in this case, we want to freeze the top row. This will make life easier when you're scrolling down and analyzing data. You can still see the column headings. For now, we're going to unfreeze the panes. So simply go back to Freeze Panes, Unfreeze. Now we're going to sort the data. So in this case, we're going to sort by standing. And if you look at the codebook, standing means their academic standing. So 1 being sophomore, 2 being junior, 3 being senior. In order to do this, you want to highlight all of the data. You can click in this box up here, and that'll highlight all of the data in the section. Next, you want to go to Data and select Sort. From there, you have the option to decide which column to sort from. In this case, we want to sort by standing. And by sorting by standing from smallest to largest, it'll group all of the sophomores, juniors, and seniors data together. Hit OK. So now if you look, we have all of the sophomores, all of the juniors, and all of the seniors. Now we want to filter the data. Filtering the data is useful when you need to only look at data for, let's say, a specific demographic. So if you're only interested in how white females responded, you can sort out the data so only the white female numbers are present. So highlight the top row, simply go back to the Data tab, and select Filter. Just for an example, we're going to filter out the males and the no responses. So this is all of the female responses. From there, you can filter out more. So if you're only interested in females who are juniors, you can unfilter. To simply take away the filtering you've done, just unclick Filter. Next, we're going to show the COUNTIF formula. Now, this is probably the most important formula you will use in Excel for your report. The purpose of this is this formula takes the frequency of a certain response. So for example, if we use this column here, gender, 1 being male and 2 being female, we want to be able to see how many males responded and how many females responded. That's the data that you will use in your findings when creating your report. So to do so, hit equals to indicate to Excel that you're using a formula. Next, you want to type in COUNTIF, parenthesis. The range in this case is the range from which the formula is going to look for the data. So B2 to B33. Be sure you have the correct range, otherwise your numbers will come out incorrectly. Comma, criteria. Criteria is what you're looking for. So in this case, we only want to count the males, which are coded as 1. So simply hit 1. We want to do the same thing for females. So equals, COUNTIF, parenthesis. Same range, B2 through B33, comma, 2. Now this shows that there were 12 males who responded and 19 females who responded. When analyzing the data, we want to know how many people total responded to the question. You can do this by simply hitting equals, sum, and highlighting these two. Now you see there are 31 respondents, 12 of which are male, 19 of which are female. And you can simply do this formula and drag it across. So you can get all sorts of frequencies for all the different columns. Right here is simply an indicator of which code frequency. For the columns in which you have codes that go above 2, simply continue the equation, the formula, and drag across. So an important feature when working with Excel is to be able to pull the data from one location. So if we go to sheet 1 and we type in male, female, frequency, and percent. It's important that when you're analyzing the data, you have both the frequency and the percent of respondents. So in this lesson, we're going to show you how to link cells. Linking cells simply allows for consistency with data, and if you in the future update your data in one location, it'll automatically update everywhere else. So start by hitting equal, and we just want to know the frequency of males who responded. So go back to data and select this cell. That's the frequency of males. If for whatever reason you have to change numbers here, this number will automatically update due to the COUNTIF function, and this number will automatically update because you linked the cell. Let's link the females. Now you see there are 12 male and 19 female respondents. However, when you are creating your graphs report, you do not use frequency, and rather you'll use percent of respondents. To do this, we're going to link cells just as we did. So hit equals, and to create a percent, it's the piece divided by the total. So in this case, the number of males who responded, slash, which indicates division, go back to the data cell, and click the total. That shows that 38.7% of respondents were male. Let's do the same thing for females. So hit equals, this cell divided by the total. Now if we highlight these, right click again, format cells, we can make these percentages. Now when you make your graph, these numbers here are the numbers that will go on your graph. So to create a graph, you want to hit highlight male, female, hold down the control button, and while you're doing so, also highlight these two cells. Insert, column, 2D. Now while this is the basic format for a graph, this is not a 315 appropriate formatted graph. So we have to go through a few steps to ensure that it's the proper formatting. Remember, every formatting mistake is a point off your final grade. So let's begin by deleting the series. Next, if you go to layout and just start at the left, you can include everything necessary. So we want chart title above chart, axis title below, axis title to the left, data labels outside end, no primary horizontal grid lines. Next, we want to ensure everything is Times New Roman size 12. Excel is not defaulted to Times New Roman size 12. However, Times New Roman is required for proper formatting. You also will have to select all of the text separately. You cannot just simply hit the graph and type Times New Roman. Next, while it may be difficult to see, these axis lines are actually gray. We need them to be black, and this is more noticeable when you print the report. So you want to click over the numbers so that this rectangle on the y-axis is highlighted. Next, go to Format, Shape Outline, Automatic. Do the same for this axis. Shape Outline, Automatic. Next, we want to ensure that there is no outline around the graph. So click out of the graph and click back into the graph. Shape outline, no outline. Now we want to ensure these are black bars. Shape fill, black. Now to save time in the future, you can save this as a template. So when you go to make graphs, you don't have to do all of the little nitpicky details. So simply click the graph, go to Design, and save as template. You want to save it as PAF 315 bar. So let's say we delete this graph and go back and want to insert another graph. You simply go Insert, Column, All Chart Types. In your template, this is where all templates are automatically saved. Simply click the 315 bar graph.